What we're actually going to do is we're actually just going to take a walk over to the Monster G9 because it works like the DAP as well, but on one cable.
Right, so I'm going to go and get the camera and move it back over, and I'll come back and join you in a minute, Baz.
Thank you, Miles. Let's go over across to the G9 Monster. So
And
again,
those, by the way, are a lot of the other G series that you'll be seeing shortly.
Again, if you can see the floor, same attachments, same thing that you can do on the G12, you can do on the G9. Miles, if you wouldn't mind, you've got the correct angle there. You can join me in picture here.
Yeah.
Miles, if you want to pull one of the handles for me, please, of the DAP. Guys, you'll see it's all plate loaded in the back here. So everything's loaded on the plates in the back here, and that's how you operate it, via plates.
So if we have a look at this, again, exactly the same as we had with the G12. I'm going to shorten that a little bit because I'd like to get a bit closer to the machine. And I must say, Basil, the one thing that I found about the G9, I find the system very smooth.
It is very, very smooth.
Okay, so
what are the differences, Miles? What are the differences between the G12 and the G9?
So primarily the difference, because we've got a free weight, you obviously don't have the weight stacks, and the other big difference, there's a slightly different frame structure.
And the frame, you would say, is about 75–90% the same as the G12.
So it's a little bit deeper in that you need to be able to get to the back of the machine to put weights on.
Correct.
And the other thing, Basil, is that this is a single, it is not 100% a dual, there is only one weight shuttle.
Correct.
Okay, so ideally you can't work out as separately.
But an individual can work.
But an individual can work with two arms, absolutely. So in fact, maybe we can just pop that on.
Which one? The handle?
Yeah, the D handle.
What number would you like to go to?
I'm on number 4 there, so maybe we can pull this out.
Okay, let's drop that straight down to number 4.
So, and I'm going to make that shorter.
I'll make it shorter for you.
So, by the way, I mean, I do a sort of a 90, 100 kilogram bench press. For a warm-up, this is quite comfortable.
It is.
And this would be more of a decline movement. Why? Because
you're coming from the top down.
I'm coming from the top down. So you could imagine my feet elevated on a decline bench. But very, very smooth. I must say, out of all of the machines, I do find this the smoothest.
And what is quite nice about this, here's another difference about the G9 versus the G12. If you've got an aerobic mat or a nice thick piece of foam or something, you can sit straight on the floor and brace your feet up against that amazing plate in the back there, and you can do your rows.
Cool. So I'm going to do it without a bottom cushion.
Which is, you can do it like that as well.
It's because I've got a very big bottom.
You have a very big bottom. Let me get rid of these.
So, once again, that rowing motion, so that has been a very, very popular feature.
It has.
And of course, not only is it rowing, but it's a low cable for nearly anything. So, one of my favorite exercises as well would be this curl.
And Miles can do that standing as well, but I would prefer to do it on the DAP, or the adjustable arm.
Everything else, Basil, is essentially identical.
Counterbalance Smith machine, leg press, everything else is basically the same. You can store your accessories when they're not in use. You've got a workout chart on the back as well. A really solid machine, a wide footprint as well.
Great. Baz, what I'm going to suggest is maybe we can also just pop straight. We've got right next door, we've got the G6. Why don't we take the camera across to the G6 and we can just cover a couple of changes and differences there.
Let's walk right across to the G6, guys. Miles, thank you. My lovely cameraman is walking across to the G6. Guys, out of the Monster line, I have to say, the Monster G6 is personally my favorite. I love it. It looks good. It looks kick-ass. The nice thing is, in terms of the attachments that we covered in our video earlier, they're slightly different, not a big difference. You've still got the functional bar. You get the spade grip lat pull down, but we have gone through them already.
Yep, we have indeed. So you'll see those in the accessories.
So you get that as well. So Miles, what makes the G6 different to the others?
Okay, so for me, and I think I've shared this with you, Basil, after many, many years of training, my training goals have changed a little bit. So when I was a bit younger, in my 20s and 30s, I used to love doing very heavyweight training.
Yes.
As I've got a bit older, a few injuries have come along, so I like to do a lot of isolation exercises. So one of the things about the G6 that is different to the G12, this is a 2-to-1 cable ratio, which means the cable loops twice, and because of the law of pulleys, and some of you that have got good mechanical knowledge will be able to state the exact laws, but what happens is it reduces the effective weight, which means that firstly 100 kilograms would be an effective 50 kilograms, which is not a disadvantage because even 50 kilograms is really heavy.
Correct.
But the advantage for me is that you've got a lighter starting weight and you've got more increments.
And don't you have a bigger range of motion?
You've got a much bigger range of motion. Okay, so being able to do your functional training, your lunges, your thrusting movements, your power type of plyometrics movements. Did I say plyometrics or plyometrics?
Plyometrics.
Okay, so plyometrics is something brand new that I haven't even explained to anybody yet. But plyometrics is something different.
Sure. So what is quite nice again, I don't know if
Basil, you
Miles,
weren't going to take me up on plyometrics.
I was not going to, it sounded some scientific
Okay.
zone that Miles was going into, and I'm just yet to jump.
I think it was the BS zone I was going into there for a while.
So guys, what is nice about the G6 is you'll find that the G6 is slightly higher in height than the 9 and the 12.
Yeah.
But with it being slightly higher, it is more compact.
Yeah. Yeah. So 234?
234 if I'm not mistaken.
234. So for the ceiling height, for my customers in the UK, yeah, there is a 10 centimeter difference between the G9 and the G12, which is sitting at 223, and this is on average 234.
Correct.
Okay.
Miles, and also, correct me if I'm wrong, down by your feet, those are band pegs.
These are band pegs, and that is another difference, you're quite right, Basil, another difference between this and the other. So the commercial, this is rated as a light commercial, ideal for personal trainer. If you're a personal trainer, this is the machine for you. So you've got the band pegs. As soon as you move into the G9 and the G12, that is not. These are full commercial graded machines, although my main clients are actually home users.
Home users, yeah.
That want a very decent machine in their house.
Sure, sure. Anything else that you can go through on the 6 miles that you see? It's got a core trainer built into it on the side over here. Basically the same.
Yeah.
But it's one of my favourite by far.
Yeah.
Miles, while we're doing that, should we take a walk down to the G3?
Absolutely. Let's go to the G3.
So guys, we're walking down to the brand new 2019, am I correct, Miles?
Yeah.
2019 model Monster G3. I'm just going to get that out of the way. So you'll see it's also, I've included the leg press on it as well. Very, very nice unit, very sexy, very clean. They've kept all their lines and angles the same as well. So it's a very nice unit. So basically, it is home use.
Home use, although I've had a number of personal trainers that have actually purchased this
Which
item.
is not a problem. Now, Miles, correct me if I'm wrong, this is isolateral.
This is isolateral, indeed. So big difference between the G9. G9 is not isolateral, this is.
And this is not a counterbalancing machine, just like the Monster G6. It's not counterbalanced, and so is the G3 not counterbalanced.
By the way, what Basil's just done there, you will have noticed, is that these safeties for the Smith machine need to be placed at the bottom
when you're using
the functional training.
And if you want a big range of motion, this would need to go to the top. So that is the G3. We have covered all the attachments that go with it. It does come with a core trainer as well. Again, it can be mounted to the floor if you'd like to.
Yep.
You will notice that the band pegs stretch right out to the back.
Cool. Anything else that we want to tell them about this that we haven't covered yet? Again, lovely machine. It's definitely a lot of personal trainers are using it. Serious home trainers. 450 kilogram weight capacity on the safeties and the J hooks. On the Smith machine, what is our
Smith machine's quite heavy. Look at
I think we're well over 300 kilograms
well over
on the
300
Smith
kilos.
machine.
You will also notice that the whole Monster line has got place to store your Olympic bar or standard bar. It's also got place to store your Olympic plates or standard plates. You take the adapter sleeves off. Miles, anything else you'd like to say about the G3?
But, again, from a value point of view, great value. It obviously comes in significantly cheaper.
From the budget conscious.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want something just to get in there, get the job done.
Get yourself a solid machine with this.
You can't go wrong. Miles, anything else on this before I take a walk over to the brand new Monster G1?
No, let's go to the G1, Basil.
So guys, I'm walking over to the brand new Monster G1. So we're going to be walking across the Monster G1. So this is the new Porsche USA Monster G1, which again, look how it follows through the theme with the Monster. So basically this is a functional trailer that works on one cable without a Smith bar. So the advantage of it is it comes in cheaper, if I'm not mistaken, in the UK.
Yeah, much cheaper.
Power rack, so you could still achieve what you could achieve in a Smith machine by using a power rack with the J-hooks and the safeties that are on the floor. And then you've got the functionality of these adjustable pulleys.
22 adjustment positions. That's really impressive.
That is really impressive. And what is really impressive about the G1, which I like, my height is 185 centimeters. So what I like about it is it gives you a nice pull for pull-ups.
And once again, in terms of very nice and easy to adjust, I've taken that up to adjustment 3. I've slapped some lightweights on there for the time being, but again,
very
that's
smooth.
so smooth. That really is nice. So there's my chest movements, my tricep movements, or my lower chest, so almost very similar to a dip. Once again, just like the G12, you can swing around if you're supersetting, and I would be very happy with this in my home.
Correct.
I must say, the smoothness, the ability, this goes up to 150 kilograms. Trust me, this is very direct in terms of weight. 150 kilograms, you've got to be really, really strong to be able to push that.
And again, they followed through with those sleeves that come off if you've got the standard weight plates. So if you're sitting at home with standard weight plates and you want this beautiful machine, get hold of Miles and you can get it like this, and we take the sleeves off and you can train with the normal standard weight plates. Miles, anything else you'd like to cover with the G1?
Basil, I think we've covered everything. I think we've seen the differences. You'll be seeing more videos coming up, but I think on YouTube and on our website, gymandfitnessequipment.co.uk. I'm Miles.
I'm Basil. And guys, please don't be afraid to drop Miles an email. What's your email address?
miles@gymandfitnessequipment.co.uk.
If there's a particular video you want Miles to do to explain things to you, guys,
absolutely,
we will make your life easy. Drop Miles an email and give us a bit of time and we'll get a video compiled for you guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you
We'll
for
see
that,
you
guys.
guys
We'll
later.
see you soon.